March, the United States celebrates Women's History Month and International Women's Day on March 8th. This month is a celebration and time to reflect on the contributions of women in history.
On May 29, 1851, a former slave turned abolitionist and women's rights activist, Sojourner Truth, performed her famous Ain't I a Woman speech at the Women's Rights Convention in Ohio, building the urge to fight for equality that they so rightfully deserved.
On December 10, 1969, the legislature of Wyoming Territory passed America's first women's suffrage law. This granted women the right to vote and hold office. In 1890, Wyoming was the 44th state admitted to the Union and became the first state to allow women to vote.
In February 1980, President Jimmy Carter issued a presidential proclamation declaring the second week of March as National Women's Week. Soon, schools and communities all around the country began to celebrate and recognize this week, with some states even incorporating it into their curriculum.
Just a week was pretty weak though, and by 1986, 14 states had already declared March as National Women's History Month.
Communities all over the country use this burning drive and state-by-state action to lobby Congress to dedicate this entire month to women, officially finalizing in 1987.
Since then, we as a nation have honored the great strides and achievements that many heroic and often overlooked women have made to get us where we are today.
As the Girls Build LA team here at Larchmont Charter School, we will work hard to provide a safe space for the girls and women of Los Angeles so that the future generations of girls can become strong, successful community leaders.
Rosie the Riveter, a symbol of feminism and social change, was the campaign's face for recruiting women to work in the defense industries during World War II.
This image of Rosie, created to encourage women's participation in the workforce, had led to a significant rise in their participation on the economy as a whole. Within a span of 5 years, as women began to join the Air Force and armed services, their role in American life had expanded.
Molly Murphy McGregor, another important female icon, was a high school English and history teacher who felt that feminist movements and women's history was often overlooked. This led her to co-founding the National Women's History Project.
Mary Woodstatter, co-founder of the National Women's Project, was an activist that was deeply involved in women's history and feminism. She had also co-produced a video series on women's lives in America with different ethnic backgrounds.
During her 15-plus years of working with National Women's History Project, she traveled around the country making presentations and lobbying to include different women's accomplishments in our nation.
The National Women's History Project has hosted countless events and historical projects to celebrate women's history. They successfully lobbied Congress to pass a joint resolution recognizing Women's History Month in 1987.
My name is Vanessa Vasquez, and I am a school counselor at LFP.
My name is Ashley Choi, and I am a 12th grade English teacher at Larchmont campus. I am also the senior advisor.
Hi, I'm Kimberly McDonald, and I teach 8th grade history, PAC, and mock trial.
I would love for the girls and women within our Larchmont community to feel empowered, to feel that they can accomplish anything, to feel that their gender is not a barrier, and to feel supported by other girls and women.
I would love to inspire the women in the Larchmont community to just pursue the things that they have stored up in their hearts and the things that they have stored up in their minds for such a long time. You know, all the things that they aspire to be, I encourage them to do it.
I'd like to inspire our girls in the Larchmont community by encouraging them to find their voice. I always like it when our girls are inspired by something to take action, and in any way that I can help support that, I'm game.
Sonia Sotomayor is a Supreme Court justice, and she inspires me because, like me, she is a type 1 diabetic. And so when I see her doing what she does, I feel like opportunities are limitless because she made it that far. And if you know anything about type 1 diabetes, it is a tough condition to live with. So I have a lot of respect and admiration for her.
Maya Angelou, as most people know, is the famous African American writer, poet, performer, entrepreneur. She accomplished so many things. She was sort of like a chameleon, but she always stayed true to herself. She's really has impacted my life, and I'm very grateful for who she was and how she continues to inspire and how her name is known across the world. I feel very honored and proud to have learned about her and very fortunate to have seen her.
The woman who's inspiring me currently would probably be Stacey Abrams because of her willingness to persevere and not give up. Even though she lost her own election and things really looked like they weren't going to change, she kept at it, and she knew that her voice mattered and what she was doing mattered. And she kind of rallied an entire state and, in fact, the entire nation to take action on something that she believed in. And I think that's really inspiring.
You are not alone. There are always people to support you. You can do anything. Behind you are other strong women and girls that have paved a path, and it's open. And although sometimes there are barriers, you can overcome them. And so keep going.
You can do it. All you have to do is persevere. Really, anything is possible. It's just you making it possible. It really is possible. And it just takes you to try things out and to keep trying.
For our girls at Larchmont, I just would like to encourage you to not give up on something. If you believe in it, make it happen. Find a way. And if it feels bleak and it feels like too much, just know that there are girls that came before you that probably felt the same way and maybe had moments of doubt or moments of despair, but they kept at it. And all you can do is you can put one foot in front of the other and keep climbing that mountain. We're making progress. If you look back, you can see the giant strides that women have taken towards equality and towards having their voice be heard. If you just look in the last couple years in the, Believe Women movement, the Women's March in 2016 was one of the largest worldwide movements. And that should, if you're ever feeling down or frustrated, just look to those things that collectively, when we work together, we're stronger.